Great, thank you so much. My name is Michelle Ribeiro.
Hi, I'm Marcy Bomba.
And I'm Bonnie Hemrick.
And we're thrilled to be here with you this morning. So our proposal, hopefully all of you got a copy of it, but we made a PowerPoint presentation. We're not going to, because we have limited time, we're not going to spend a lot of time on going over our mission and our vision or our values, but this is what guides our work. And we're very committed to our mission and our vision, which is to really make a campus a mentally well campus. So you might have seen this quote in different places, but we want to reiterate, there is no health without mental health. And that is the foundation of all the work we do, particularly in our mental health promotion program, which we're going to be talking about today. So there's our vision, our mission, our values that guide our work, and our commitment to diversity.
So our funding source, we are student fee funded. So the reason that this is important actually is because it reduces our autonomy to grow programs to meet needs. So other departments can say, oh, well, we need a few more people, we can hire a few more people. There's actually a much longer and more complex process for us. So we do actually start relying more for volunteers, more for interns, so that they can help support our program so we can grow in the way that we need.
So the average number of students served by the unit in our clinical services are anywhere between 100 and 110 students. Our daily mental health program attendance, and this is looking at the past from July to about March when we pull the data, is anywhere between no people to 400. And so we have a very large impact potentially on our mental health promotion outreach. And our annual mental health promotion program attendance is about 15,000. That's really pivotal because we serve about 2,200 right now in our clinical services. And so that's if you come into our center and seek services. But the impact that we have on our campus is 15,000, which is a huge percentage that we can begin to change the mental well-being of. We were asked to list some of the demographics of the students. So this is a snapshot again from July 2014 till about March 2015. So you'll see graduate students, international students, first-year students, different cultural centers, Pride, and we keep track of this based on the different programs. We did focus groups a few years ago, and we really are responsive to trying to go to the different programs and reach out to the different centers who are desirable to collaborate with us. This will have implications as we talk a little bit later about our commitment to working with the SAC partners in here.
So I'm the interim director at CAPS, and I've been really involved in our SNEL problems with rooms and our SNEL renovation. And so currently we are lucky to have been approved to add many more rooms on the 5th floor of CAPS at SNEL. We're very happy about that. And we are a very, very large growing organization. And as Michelle had indicated, we have about 2,200 students who actually come in for direct service at CAPS, and that's basically counseling as we talk about direct service. So we have a really robust and growing mental health promotion program. We always have to deal with issues around confidentiality because our student workers there's a lot of kind of ethical laws and things around confidentiality. So we're always concerned about where we house our student workers. And also our programming is a little bit limited for mental health promotion programming because when we have other students who come in to meet our student workers, we have to be really careful about where they meet and maintaining confidentiality. So confidentiality is really important, and we just don't have enough room. And so right now we're squeezing everyone into rooms at CAPS, and it would be awesome for our student workers, our mental health promotion program to be at the Student Experience Center. This is the hub of the student experience. There's no, students wouldn't have to deal with stigma around, counseling, mental health. They could come here, do programming here, and also there's so many other, we have a lot of partners that we work very closely with who are actually here at the Student Experience Center. And so the isolation over at CAPS feels like it's been problematic, and I think that we would really grow as a community here to provide better services for our students.
And I'll just point out too, we're seeing an increasing desire for collaboration from students. We've had I would say at least 25 to 45 students come in wanting to be volunteers for us this year, which is awesome, because that's how we're going to spread our message. And so with that increase of interest in collaborating with us, we're going to need more space.
So briefly, here's our vision of how the space will be utilized. So our full-time staff that we're proposing to occupy the space will be the Assistant Director of Mental Health Promotion, who's Michelle Ribeiro, and myself, the Mental Health Promotion Coordinator. So those are the full-time staff. And then the part-time student staff proposing to occupy the space includes a variety of people. So we have 3 mental health promotion program support staff members who are undergraduate students, 1 Mind Spa program support staff member who's also an undergraduate, 2 graphic designers, again, both undergraduate students as well, and then we have 1 mental health promotion assistant who's a graduate student. So those are all of our paid workers. And then for unpaid workers, we support Active Mind, so our funding supports that registered student organization. So what we would love is to have our 6 Active Minds executive board members be able to have a home in the SEC, and also 1 international student CAPS liaison intern through the ICSP program. So we brought on an intern this past year. He worked out great. We want to bring that back again and have that partnership. And then we also have 1 mental health promotion intern, which we bring on to help out with programming and also to help support the other programs' internship needs. And then also, as we grow the volunteer base, we want to include 5 to 10 mental health promotion volunteers. So for the dedicated offices, there are 3 dedicated offices, as you know. 1 we're proposing to be a satellite Mind Spa. So we have a Mind Spa that's in Snell Hall right now, but as we mentioned with the stigma of mental health counseling, a lot of people are kind of hesitant to use that service. So it'd be really beneficial to have one of those offices serve as a Mind Spa. So similar to how we have the meditation room in the SEC, they can seek out that for services as well. So in the Mind Spa, we have a massage chair, we have biofeedback equipment, guided meditation software. We also have meditation focus area, so if people just need a place to focus and meditate. And then we have a daylight therapy lamp, so especially when it gets pretty cloudy and dreary around here, that can be helpful for people. And then we'll also have, again, the office for the mental health promotion coordinator and the office for the assistant director of health promotion are the other 2 dedicated offices.
I'd also like to add on to the Mind Spa that this will be, we have 1 at CAPS that is almost always full. It's very well known. It's one of our best used programs. And we also have a satellite office at the Beth Ray Center, so it would be super awesome to have one on this side of campus, and again, with much better access for students.
And we did a small study a few years ago with Disability Access Services Intercultural Student Services Office at the time, and Waldo, the Academic Success Center, and students said that they would feel more comfortable utilizing Mind Spa services outside of the counseling center. And so it's based in data that we collected from students in both of those offices, which covered about 150 students.
I need to stay on that one. You can stay on that one. So for the open workspace, we envision keeping it completely open. This is a place for collaboration. This is a place for welcoming students who want to come in and utilize it as a place to kind of hang out. So what we envision is a student workspace where our student workers, our Active Minds executive board members, volunteers, and interns can all interchangeably work. So they're all computers that can be logged on by anyone, and then we'll have shared space for their files and for any of their personal belonging needs. But in that way, we can allocate for students coming in and out, because again, they're not full-time. Their hours a lot of times won't coincide, so we won't run into much of a problem with space concerns. In addition to that, we want to incorporate a well-being lending library. So this will include self-help books related to well-being, mindfulness or mindful meditation CDs, yoga DVDs, also additional light therapy lamps that can be checked out, and personalized biofeedback equipment that can also be checked out. So again, this would encourage people to come in and actually utilize our space for a place to actually come and hang out and learn more about wellness and ways that they can support that.
And again, we've trialed this in the library. We have light therapy lamps, and we had about 250 250 to 270 students check those out regularly at the library. And so there is an interest in being able to have other places to check things out.
So we were provided a PDF of the floor plan. You probably can't see this super well, but I wanted to kind of show where our space would be. So again, these are the dedicated offices. These are just work offices. This would be our mind spa, so our massage chair. We've got a little lamp for light, the desk where we can have the computer for biofeedback equipment, and the daylight lamp, and a little chair for them to sit in. Our student workers and interns and Active Minds executive board members would all be utilizing these spaces here for a workspace. This is a collaboration area, so again, we can have meetings, we can have people come in ad hoc and kind of say, hey, I've got this idea, how can we work together on that? And then this would be the lending library portion. So we've got the bookcase here where that's all of our materials. We've got a couch and a chair for people to come and relax. And then we've got our storage right along this wall here. So our operating hours and furniture needs, our operating hours would fall in line with our Snell operating hours. So that's 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. during the academic year, and then 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. during the summer terms. And for our furniture needs, for the dedicated offices, it's just a pretty standard material. So 3 office desks, 1 for each of the dedicated offices, 3 office chairs, 2 bookshelves, so for the 2 business offices that we'll be working out of, 1 lamp for the Mind Spa, 1 massage chair, which will be funded by CAPS to bring into the Mind Spa. And then for the open workspace, we need that conference table so that people can come and collaborate, 10 chairs to go around that table, so just standard chairs, 7 office chairs to go in the workspaces, 7 desks, 1 bookshelf, again to accommodate the Wellbeing Lending Library, 3 storage cabinets, 2 file cabinets, 1 couch and 1 armchair for that area for the lounge, 1 lamp and 1 television for promoting events and services. So one thing that we really want to focus on this next year is being able to promote our services a little bit better as well, so people are more aware of what we're doing.
Okay, so engagement with diversity, this is really obviously important to the SECs in terms of your own vision and mission, and this is just as important for CAPS. We know that there are many offices here at the SEC that serve underrepresented students, like diversity and cultural engagement, International Resource Center, the ISOSU, and other student clubs. And just to give you some framework, we do a lot of assessment at CAPS in terms of clinical service and the demographics of students who come to CAPS. And what we found is that's underrepresented students, and typically students of color who present with significant issues around suicide attempts, mood, self-harm, academic interference. So they tend to present at higher risk when they come to the counseling center. And I won't go into the research about why, but part of it is that sometimes they come in way little bit at a point where they need a lot of support. And so being here at the SEC would help us to partner with underrepresented groups, but more importantly, mental health promotion is really about primary and secondary intervention. At CAPS, we have clinical services, that's tertiary intervention. We see students who are already in distress, who already typically have diagnoses, and we try to support them through those processes. If we are able to provide the support, mental health promotion support here, then the goal and the research supports that then students would then need less, there would be less need to come in for the counseling services, because we would help to provide resilience, wellness, coping strategies, so that when they get distressed, they can be able to access their internal supports and social supports, or come to CAPS before it becomes an emergency. And so again, this is an opportunity for us to more strategically plan with other units here, and in addition, CAPS, we have a lot of liaison partnerships on campus. So I really want to let you all know that I feel like we're firmly involved, entrenched, particularly around work with our cultural centers. We do a lot of work around homesickness, relationship skills with particularly international students, sexual assault support services with the Greek life system and international students. Our liaisons, we do a lot of identity development, building resilience around dealing with racial issues on campus. So us being here, I think, would allow those relationships and those partnerships to flourish even more.
So really, we're interested in strategic partnerships and new opportunities. And Greek Life is an organization that we really, really want to partner with. And we're excited that this year Sigma Pi actually reached out to Jim and they raised over $4,000 for the national organization around saving lives. And so we really want to be able to infiltrate mental well-being in the Greek community. We also know we do have a lot of students seeking individual services in terms of in sororities around eating issues and body image. We do body projects right now with the Oregon Research Institute, so to be able to be out more in the community, letting our students know how they can access us, and again, promotion and early intervention ways is really what we're excited about. And so that's a partner we really want to connect with. Sexual assault also, if any of you went to the Take Back the Night, okay, you know that was one of the highest, and so we really feel like as we get out more, people will want to partner with us more. We're going to be real quick, so we want to open up for questions too. We also have Allison Davis White-Eyes. She contacted me with Diversity Cultural Engagement and asked if we could do a well-being grant together. So this summer we're going to be writing a grant for $10,000 matching fund for $20,000 to focus on underrepresented students and well-being. And so that's already in the motion, and that would continue. Identity-based retreats, CAPS is involved in social justice retreats. We're also helping to build an international student identity retreat and a multiracial, and mindfulness education and social justice work. Real quick, Center for Civic Engagement, we're already in partnership with local communities to build that around bringing mental well-being into the middle schools, into the high schools. They're coming and learning from our Active Mind students. So lots of exciting ways that we can get our student volunteers who we're hoping to build a bigger resource for, to be able to go out and do civic engagement opportunities around mental well-being particularly. And then I just want to end with Corey Keys real quick. This is out of Fresh Off the Press 2015 Spring and Summer Edition. Advancing Wellness Mental Health Initiatives Visiting, creating students who can flourish in life is the overarching purpose of higher education. When students walk across that stage and take their diploma, they should feel, and I'll let you read that on your own. But this is the latest. This is from the American Associations of Colleges and Universities. We even had Corey Keys here 4 years ago now, before they even partnered with him. So we are in line with the game and actually ahead of it. And so we want to continue to be leaders, not only on our campus, but nationally in terms of leading the flourishing movement. We'll stop here. I'll leave that up for a moment, but the next slide is just questions or comments, anything that you'd like to. Yes.
Would this office suite be the first stop for a student that's looking for support or assistance?
So what I would say is anybody that comes in there, we would refer, if they wanted clinical services, yes, they could go over there. We would not do clinical services over there because of confidentiality and just privacy issues. But if somebody came there and was in distress, because Bonnie and my office are there, and I'm a psychologist, we may have rotating psychologists come through who are part of our mental health promotion team. There would always be someone that could be able to say, all right, what do you need right now? And this is how we can, so we can do quick triages to say this is where you could go for more
But
support.
ideally, there would be another site for them to go.
That
as
would
a
stay
first
over
place.
at Snell Hall,
Right.
yes. So we would not do clinical services there. But if a student is in distress, actually I was talking to a priest who works at the Newman Center, and he was like, I'm so glad I know you're over there because I was in the library and a student was decompensating. And so I think, again, there's a lot of, we don't have as much visibility in our campus. Mm-hmm. And I think the more visibility we have, the more we'll be able to get students to the places they need, including clinical.
Well, having been a former Snell person, I would often find folks looking for you. And, you know, I wanted to direct them to the right place.
Yeah.
So with all the satellites, that could get quite confusing for the best first place for students to come to.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it would still be Snell.
It would still be Snell.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we would be doing a lot of marketing as well if this ended up happening, so that we were letting the student population and also staff and faculty as well know what our plan was and what those different sites were for.
I also hate to brag, but you know, it's important to know that mental health promotion and college counseling center is it's a newer concept. We've gone from outreach, which is whoever requests us to go to talk to their class about stress management. We go and we talk to a class about stress management. We're actually doing direct work. We are actually starting at CATS doing the promotion, and having a satellite office here, I think, would really even put us into more cutting edge and leaders in college counseling centers across the country.
Other questions, concerns, comments?
So one of the core values of this building and aspects of our building that sets us apart from all the rest on campus is that we're a universally accessible building, which means all of our furniture and the layout of all the furniture meets current ADA standards. And so also having a previous office in Snell, I know that's not the case over there. So how do you all plan to, retrofit your furniture or either, purchase new furniture? Like what would be your plan to make sure you're up to date?
Yeah, so actually, let me answer
Yes.
that. So occupants coming in have no opportunity to actually define what furniture comes in. They will work with the MU building, who owns all the furniture for this building, and they will only be given the same opportunities we all have in regards to furniture. So they will not be bringing anything from their current location. So there is no retrofitting. It's literally working with the MU and identifying what pieces of our current catalog are going to be utilized in their space.
Have you all had any trouble with that in your current space?
We try and accommodate as much as we can. The biggest problem is when the elevator goes down, and we don't have control over that. So that is a big issue, but we put it on our capital campaign to do ADA bathrooms. When we have different needs, we will respond to them as quickly as we can, given the constraints of our building.
We also have a room on the ground floor, an emergency room we can use when the elevator goes down. The Snell was generous enough to allow us to meet with the student in case they couldn't get up to the fifth floor.
So I know that there's a lot of issues with your Snell offices. Would having a satellite here help to improve the usability of your space in Snell?
I certainly feel like then we can grow our program in ways that are I think, make more sense for our clinic. And so I think if we have a mental health promotion here, then we really could focus on clinic direct service counseling, and our rooms on the 5th floor then we can use for counseling and group rooms, and it would just be a much easier process for us because the use would be it would be similar throughout the whole 5th floor, and we wouldn't have to worry about student confidentiality, and also we do a lot of programming.
And I think it'd be easier for students too, because they would know that that's the clinic.
Right.
That's where you go for clinical services, and this is where you go to collaborate.
Yeah, just to clarify, so right now, you all's offices and some of the things that you're planning on putting in here are currently housed in Snell, and you transfer those rooms and whatnot right
Yes.
back into, okay.
Yes.
Correct. The Mind Spa would be a new satellite office, so we keep the Mind Spa there.
Yeah.
But the student workers right now, they're actually going from like a fairly large space to a much smaller space because we had to add offices for clinicians to accommodate need. So their space is shrinking, and we want them to feel like they're
Right, they're
important.
part of us.
And they do some of our
They
best
are.
outreach work, So we want to accommodate that and inspire them.
So we're going to close the questions down now, and appreciate, thank you everybody for being here. I think
And feel free to email any advice or questions.
Thank you. So yeah, you may